3, 2, 1. It's time to live it up with Rico Nevotion, my partner in crime, TAWD. Cheers, boys. Here, thank you again, dude, so much for coming over here, man. This is huge, man.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, the pleasure is all ours. So I would just love to get to know you a little bit more, as it's my first time meeting you here, but I know my good friend Tad here met you through doing karaoke at Old Chicago and all these other like chain restaurants at one point in your career, and now you're doing collabs with people like Ne-Yo, T-Pain, and like not only that, but you're just a very successful individual artist like on your own. And I feel like the music business is probably like has one of the that industry has the reputation for just being one of the grimiest. I have a lot of friends in just in the EDM scene. I know Tad, your ex used to be in the music industry, and like for females, it's also really grimy. You got like these big producers and managers trying to sleep with them. So I would love to just to pick your brain a little bit and learn about, Rico's journey and how he made it here from doing karaoke at Old Chicago.
It's funny. You just never know how a person's story is,
Right.
Karaoke back then was like that outlet without even being in the club. Like, when I tell you our karaoke's were live, it was like literally, it was like a party. He would,
yeah, it was.
He would tell you.
I was like, dang, I'm about to go get loose.
Yeah,
up in here at a family restaurant.
Seriously, like people got dressed up for our karaoke's because it was so much fun.
But you know why they're fun? It's because like you like got that crowd going, and your singing was so damn good. Well, I mean, it is good, but I mean, just like it just took a while before you started stepping up your game. But
definitely,
you had the talent all along.
I appreciate that, brother. But yeah, it's karaoke was a good opportunity for me just to meet different people because I love people.
Yeah,
so I love meeting the different crowds, the different backgrounds, all that I feel like creates what we all really want in the first place,
Absolutely. And like it gives you a chance to practice your music too, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
Like just getting those mic reps and like performing in front of a crowd. Like me, like I get anxiety just thinking about doing karaoke.
You really, you learn showmanship. I think the most important thing is when you're doing karaoke, if you're an artist, is making that song yours. Right?
Yeah.
Don't do it like the artist that you're singing.
Okay. Would you ever perform your own songs, or would you usually do karaoke songs?
I did
like
both.
Okay.
I did both, yeah.
Nice.
That was my slick way of introducing people to Rico Nevotion.
Yeah, I like that.
That's smooth. That's smooth.
It is actually.
Because they can hear like a song they know, and then you might sing one of your songs. They're like, damn, what is it? Whatever that is, that shit's good.
Right.
And then they come and ask you when you're at the bar. You're like, yo, man, what was that like third song you sung?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that was on me.
Exactly.
You have that? Did that happen to you before?
Oh, definitely. So basically what I would do is I would test out the crowd. So I'll sing a song that kind of has some, familiar, like it kind of matched my style, right? And if they reacted to it right, then I knew that when I come with that song, the chances are they're gonna be paying attention. Like, oh, I like the last one. So, and then I don't tell them right away that it's me because then you get a honest reaction.
Yeah, I like that.
That's smart.
It's a smart way to figure out if your music's hitting and what the crowd likes. It's almost like you can compare it to a comedian doing open mic. A lot of comedians will go there to see what jokes are working.
Exactly.
And what jokes aren't. But like, I feel like a lot of musicians, you don't think of doing karaoke as, seeing what ones of your songs work. And not only that, but like getting just those repetitions on performing in stage in front of people.
Yeah, definitely. And you think about it, it's already a crowd for you.
Yeah.
It's a self-made crowd.
And that probably like helped you a lot for when you performed like bigger crowds.
Oh, yeah. I was used to it. I knew how to work the room. I knew how to read the people. Like if I know a song is not catching people, I'm not going to finish that song. I'm gonna end it, and that's how you have to create your shows.
Yeah.
You have to, like a DJ, you watch the crowd, they're not dancing as much as people leaving the floor. Switch that song up.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's get into it.
Let's get to it.
Let's say you're singing, your songs are like banging, And all of a sudden you sing a song and you're like, the crowd's not feeling it. Tell me how you transition that.
You can't let them see that it bothered you. You can't take this stuff personal. You know, this is a business, and you can't take it personal. So what I would do is I would play with the crowd. I've done things where if I see people in the audience talking, like having a conversation, that happened, I would get off the stage and go over to them and start serenading. You know?
I like that.
You have to own the room, and the only way to do that is be active in all areas.
That's good. Wow. That's some good information. All you artists out there, you better listen to Rico Nevotion, spitting some knowledge.
Definitely.
Yeah. So how did going from karaoke to help get you to take that next step where it's like, oh, I'm actually going to try to, get an actual, venue I can perform and hold my own show, like come buy tickets to see, Rico Nevotion live?
Well, it's weird, but it was kind of already entwined.
Yeah.
So even as I was doing the karaoke, we were doing shows, and it was just building more and more of
momentum.
A fan base. Yeah,
fan base.
So the people like what I did at the karaoke shows. Hey, I got tickets for my show that's coming up. You guys should come.
Oh,
you
nice.
know. So it was like a relationship in all areas. So karaoke was like my best friend.
Yeah.
And then so like once you start growing, because you have your own record label, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So your team like books the shows, or do you like collaborate with other people? I guess I wonder how like you moved onward, because it sounds like I read that you like opened for like Celine Dion, Beyonce.
Yeah, definitely.
Like those are some big names.
Yeah.
I have this thing. I don't know if it's something that happened when I was young, but my imagination, I believe in it. So I don't stop where I imagine things. That is just like a blueprint for me to go ahead and do it.
I like that. Your imagination should be your blueprint for your game plan in life.
Exactly.
Not enough people do that. Not like when I think about like my imagination, I try to make my dreams a reality too, but it can be very hard with just like society nowadays and feeling the pressures around you. You having to get a normal job. If you have any kids, you gotta take care of too. Like it's a lot, and like it's very easy to get discouraged from chasing your dreams. And I've actually learned, like, I'm the happiest I've ever been right now, and it's because because I got engaged, 2, because I'm doing this with, I caught myself before I got in trouble there, 2, because I'm chasing my dreams with my friend over here.
Yes.
And I'm trying to make that my imagination into a blueprint. I loved how you said that.
Definitely.
Like,
you have to, man. It's so important. There's nothing in life that we cannot do if we put our minds to it. You just have to be consistent. I don't see myself, I never say to myself, I'm the best singer in the world.
Yeah.
That's not my mentality. I'm the best singer for me.
Yeah.
And I know that I love what I do, so I know that it's going to affect and touch those who listen.
Yeah. But your songs sound so professional though, and like they hit. Like there's other like, can I ask you, like, are you just the songwriter and performer, or do you actually do a lot of the production too, when it comes to it?
I've only done production to one song.
Okay.
I have a production team.
Okay.
I have an amazing engineer. He goes by Ricks. His studio is called Euphoric. He done my last 2 albums. Before that, I was working with T-Lace, who's also another great producer. The only person that I ever do any writing with is my younger brother, Javante. You remember Javante? He used to sing at the karaoke too.
Yeah.
He's like, he's my, what would you call it? He knows how to get me out of my writer's block.
Okay.
Because he's just as creative as I am when it comes to writing. And we'll sit there and make 50 songs.
Yeah.
Like literally, we can just freestyle songs all day.
It's so nice, like being able to just like easily collaborate with someone where it's just like you guys are constantly just bouncing ideas off each other. Like it's very rare to have that type of chemistry with a person actually, and that comes to anything in life. Like,
and it's super easy. Like I'm telling you, you would think that we was practicing it, like it was already done.
Well, I was So before I came, unfortunately, I didn't know about this video before, but I watched that I Can't Breathe.
Yes.
And when I watched that video, I'm not gonna lie, it gave me chills at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like, how did you come up with that, the video idea? And because of what happened with the Black Lives Matter stuff.
Why don't you tell them a little bit too about
Yeah.
the story for people who haven't seen it too, the video, Tad.
Well, let's
okay.
have Rico.
Yeah.
That's his
Okay.
video.
Yeah,
Right.
take a
But
little sip.
He can explain it, but it gave me chills. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is good, you know?
Well, you know, the video, it was important for me to give out a lot of different messages, right? I feel like it's important that you really dig into what the problems are, right? So I wanted to create a visual for people because we live in an era where visual is what makes things effective, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted people to understand how it is when it comes to the African American community and the police department, right? But when I say the police department, I'm talking about the corrupt officers, or just not even corrupt, but the people who just don't like the color of my skin, people who look like me. Mm-hmm. I wanted people to understand that story, but then I also wanted them to understand that there are some good officers out there.
Yeah.
So I wanted them to see what it would look like if those officers said, forget the code. I don't like this. I'm not going to stand here and watch it and step in and stop it. But then on top of those two, I wanted to also show, like in the video, you'll notice at the end, the guy that they have on the ground, which is me,
Yeah.
is also a police officer who was just out of uniform. Mm-hmm. So I wanted them to see that the one you call your brother when you at the office is still your brother when he has a hoodie on.
Yeah.
You know, so doing all those things I feel like will help. My goal was to help mend everyone, to let them see what their biases are and what the cries are. You know, and thankfully, it seems like that video really helped, because I've got a lot of people who told me how it made them look at things a lot differently.
Yeah, it was.
And that was my goal.
Yeah, that was your idea? Like when
Yeah.
That was, I thought it was pretty powerful. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah. Like if a video gives me chills, like that's
those goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is hitting, you know.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's something that's neat, especially there's such a disconnect between, you know, the black community and just, I think, everyone between like regular people and police now. Ever since, you know, George Floyd, and it's not just George Floyd, actually. It's like a bunch of all these other like murders and crimes that happened to it. But like the disconnection between, you know, the community and police is bigger than ever. Mm-hmm. And you doing something like that to try to shorten that gap and reconnect those ties, dude, is much needed nowadays, especially here in Minneapolis.
Well, not only that, especially because he's a black man.
Mm-hmm.
That did that too. Like, it's just not all negative, you know, like some of the stuff, like you're showing like multiple views, like how things can be different.
So I'm showing different views, but I wanted to make sure that with those different views, nothing was watered down.
Yeah.
Right? So it's important that people understand that this is what happens. It happens a lot. Mm-hmm. You know, I've seen it. I've experienced it. I know it exists, right? Mm-hmm. But I also know that there are good, you know, and when you're good, you have to react good, right, regardless of the consequences. So when you see wrong, no matter who you are, you need to step up and say, hey, that's wrong. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to get out of that video.
Well, let me tell you something.
Well,
man, that's what you did get.
Yeah.
You know? But now let's ask some other stuff.
All right.
You know, we're going to ask you.
That's important.
I'm going to get into it.
Okay? Double D's coming out.
Let me ask you this. So how, I want to know like how you end up collaborating with like T-Pain and Ne-Yo and all them, you know? Because I know people want to know.
Well, being that they are artists that I always loved, respected, like I said before about the imagination. Mm-hmm. I see it, I react to it, and I make it happen.
Yeah, I like that. You're one of those people who say, why not me?
Right.
Like, why can't I collab with T-Pain? Why can't I collab with Ne-Yo?
Hey.
Exactly.
Like, most people have the other mindset. Like, I did for a long time, you know? Like, I think a lot of, like, especially, like, men nowadays, we live in such a competitive world. Like, it's very easy to get insecure and caught up where it's like, man, it ain't going to be me. Or, like, I'm not good enough. Or, why should I be the one to do this?
Exactly. And
like,
I love
Rico says, why not me?
Yeah.
You know?
I love
And,
that.
and
I
that's,
love a challenge.
that's
He
what I
says, "Why
said to
not?"
him.
Yeah.
I said, why not us?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what he said. Why not us?
No, I said it's okay to shoot for the stars, land on the moon. You know, like
Yeah. I said, who said you're not on the moon now already?
Hey. Yeah.
There we go. And then, so you did you like some of these people you opened up for? You met them? In person?
Definitely. I've actually been going on the road with Spliff Star. Let me tell you something about this dude, man.
Uh-oh.
This dude, I don't think, like, he get flowers, but they need to give this dude, like, way more flowers. This dude is a genius. Like, serious, he's a genius. He's gifted, and he's humbled, and he's been doing nothing but showing me mad. Like, I feel like we're, like, blood brothers, you know.
Well,
that's how much love he gives me. Like, somebody who had that type of history to treat me, you know what I mean, somebody he only known for a couple of years, as if he known me my whole life, shows that even in this world that's so crazy and chaotic, like you were saying earlier, especially with the music world, this is a dude who is genuine, stands behind his word, and he's helped me meet other great people, like Busta Rhymes.
Oh, really?
And, you know, that they like elbow to elbow, you know.
Well, let me tell you something about you. You're a good dude. Like as long as I've known you, you know, before the fame, and it's probably just easy to do that for you, you know. And one thing I noticed about you, like since I've known you, you're always like, I'm blessed, I'm grateful. Like you're humble and you're grateful and you're willing to help the little man, you know. Like
Definitely.
I think that the karma, you know, comes around and it's coming your way.
I'm thankful.
Keep 100.
Yeah, keep it 100. I love it. We gotta live it up, right?
Yeah, that's right. We gotta live it up. You know, but we're just learning. We're talking about the ugly truth here. And if you guys haven't copped his album, you gotta check that out. The
Definitely.
Ugly Truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Which album is that? Like, how many albums have you made total now, including The Ugly Truth?
It is now 5.
5.
And you know, it's funny. It's 5, but it actually is 6. And the only reason I say that is because one of my albums, the Rico Nevotion album, I did a double. It's a double album.
Oh.
Okay.
So there's 20 songs on the album instead of actually 21.
Yeah.
You know, so
I would like to ask a question because I have a lot of friends who are DJs and EDM producers, right? And some of them are really talented, but they struggle when it comes to actually like getting gigs and even just getting plays on numbers on like their SoundCloud and growing that social media following. Is there any advice that you can give to these people that are putting in the work and, you know, producing and grinding and like working a full-time job and then going home and working on music, but they're not getting those results that they want? Because I feel like that can be like really discouraging and like unmotivating at times. And what can you tell those people who are talented to help them get their name out there?
Well, the first thing I would say is I think a lot of people act the way they think that they're supposed to in this business. So you can run a lot of people away when you put the wrong pressure on them, right?
Yeah.
The one thing you never want to do is be that person who is entitled, right? No one has to support you. That, regardless if they know you, regardless if they're related to you, they do not have to support you, right? Mm-hmm. What you need to do is make them want to, right? By making them follow what you create, which is a trend, right? People follow trends. People follow what everyone else is following. So you show them that, they're going to fall in line, right? So my main thing is people if they're gifted and they love, even if you're not great at what you're doing, if you're consistent, you become great, right? That's why they say practice make perfect. If you're consistent, you will create greatness. And also you will create the buzz that you need. If you're in and out, you can't do that in this business.
Yeah.
You can't like, man, I'm take a break. No.
No. Yeah.
You
No
can't
such
take
thing.
because you take a break. Guess what? Time don't wait for no one. And that buzz that you were starting to get, it's like turning your speakers up or looking at the wave files when it's talking. Every time I stop talking, those waves drop.
Yep.
That's the same thing happens when you stop making your grind. It drops.
I believe it's Young Jeezy. Can't slow down too close to stopping.
Exactly.
It's an old one, right?
Exactly. Because you never know what happens when you stop. You might not be able to start back.
And so what you're trying to say to these people that Doug knows is you remix Rico's songs and you'll be all good.
Yep.
You just got to.
I'm sure he showed some love then.
Right.
Yeah.
You just got to, seriously, you just really have to stay on the grind, be consistent, and direct people. Stop feeling like they need to go find it. Just because you post it don't mean they're going to go click it.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
Like,
Because what happens is when you stop believing that it's going to take them to make you make it, you're going to make it.
yeah.
Because you'll stall. Because you know, it's like running and keep looking back. Like they haven't got here yet, you know. But if you're just running and you're going and you never look back, you're going to get a lot farther because your pace is going to speed up instead of slowing down. You know, so just stay on the grind, stay consistent, and I guarantee you will get results.
So since you've been doing this a while, so I'm sure like when you make a song, it's like a lot faster now, like at least the idea.
Yeah.
You know, and then
You know, it's one of those things where I just sometimes I'm a perfectionist, so I'll be like, I don't like that piece, you know, and I'll give it to them right the first time. You know, first impression could be your last, right? And even with me, when I listen to my albums, I hear the growth. You know, I can like truly hear and be like, oh man, that's crazy. You know, because I have some people who would say like, man, Take a Walk in These Shoes is still my favorite because it connects to them a certain way. The songs on that album connects to them a certain way, and that's the beauty of it. Right?
Yeah.
I want my music to always connect because when it connects, it's going to heal, it's going to guide, it's going to make them have fun, it's going to do all those things. Yeah. That's my whole goal.
There's something very spiritual about music like that when you're talking about connecting like that.
Music is the only thing that can connect everyone together.
Yeah, I agree.
well, let me ask you about this one song because I told you like I like Live It Up. I love it. I love Q100 and a bunch of the others. But just one song I just keep playing over and over. And that's like, This Ain't No Relationship. Like what, when you wrote that song, what was going on through your head? I was just wondering.
You know, that song, believe it or not, is a song, it's supposed to be an anthem for men in general.
Yep.
Because women have a lot of anthems, right?
They do.
Men don't have too many anthems when it comes to relationships.
What do you mean? X gonna give it to you?
That's not an anthem. That's more of a, I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah. But when it comes to, first of all, let's put it this way: men are not. We are taught to not have to show certain emotions, right? Don't show that you was hurt. Don't know, blah, blah, blah. This song does all the above. It tells the story about, hey, I'm doing all these things, but the way you acting, this cannot be no relationship. This is not a relationship, you know. And me and my brother, like I was telling you about earlier, Javante, we were sitting at my place, and we were just playing around with songs, and we came up with This Ain't a Relationship.
I love that song, and I love how you're like, I don't like writing songs like this. Like I don't want to write this song.
Right.
Like that's what I feel from it. Like I don't want to write this.
Right.
But I have to. You know.
That's exactly what it was meant to say. When I said that part, I was saying, like, look, I didn't want to have to tell you how I really feel, but it's time for me to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to write no song like this, but
Yeah.
you are this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's graphic. And a shout out to Self-Centered, who is also on this song. He's the one who's rapping at the end. It's a dope song, and you're right. It's one of those songs that a lot of people, men and women, really gravitated to.
Yeah.
It got so popular that I wrote a play to it.
Oh, you did?
And, yeah,
Oh.
and it sold out three times in a row.
Damn.
So yeah, because I saw that. Well, I know you act, but you also you write plays.
Yep.
Okay, that's
Definitely.
cool. Let's talk about that Crooked Lions movie where you got your butt beat up.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was, so fun,
I just have to mess with you a little
fun
bit. Fun
fact, Tad was telling me that, and I don't know if you know this, Rico, but I'm sure you know Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Yeah.
I guess he has it in his contract where he's not allowed to lose a fight in a movie ever.
Really?
Apparently.
But hey, you have to watch the movie. It wasn't like he was in a bad situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you the bad
was
guy?
way. No, I wasn't.
No,
Actually.
he was
I was the. I don't know, without telling too much of the movie.
Yeah.
I was an innocent bystander per se.
Kind of,
Okay.
kind
Okay.
of clueless.
Yeah,
Kind of clueless.
I was clueless to what was going on. You know,
I felt bad for you.
Shout out to VIP Production for
Yeah.
that. They are the ones who are behind that movie.
Yeah, how did you get into that now? Like, is that just from the singing? Did it
Well, for this
Yeah.
film in particular, I've been friends with VIP. They were actually a group before they started doing productions with movies. They contacted me. It was like, hey, we got this role for you, man. And we, you know what I'm saying? We want you to play this role. I'm like, what? Like, oh, okay. You know, send me the script. And from there, bam. Now we're on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You
cool.
know, that's super dope. But I've done a couple other movies. One of my writing partners, Jerome, he's a super dope writer. We teamed up and we got a couple other more films that we are working on right now. He was the one who helped me with This Ain't a Relationship as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a super duper writer.
Well, I saw a clip of you as some Luther guy sound all ruthless.
Yeah, I was the kingpin in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're yelling
I
out
was
like
super evil.
Yvonne or
I was
whoever you're
evil.
talking to. Like,
Yeah, I was super
I was like,
evil. in
damn, I
that.
want that guy
Yeah.
pulling up on me. Yeah, that's. I forgot what I was
I
gonna
would
say
like to,
now.
well, if you forgot, I would like to go back a little bit. I really liked how you said, when you're talking about your song, No Relationships, and how we live in a world where men, we're not allowed to show certain emotions,
Right.
signs of weakness and so on so hurt. And you, do you consider yourself an R&B singer or what genre do you consider yourself? Because your music does feel very emotional, in a good way. So you're very much going against those societal norms and breaking them and saying, you know what, I am in tap with my emotions and and that's okay. And I can still be a man and still live up to all these expectations that, my wife holds me to and my family holds me to, what people around me hold me to.
People have always known me as a person who show a certain type of love.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been afraid to show my emotions. I do have one rule. I don't like to have people be able to control my emotions.
Yeah, and I think
But-
that's dangerous,
Yeah.
right? Because and it sucks that we have to try to find that balance with people. It's I want to show my emotions with you, but we know some people may see that as weakness,
Right,
And
they-
try
they
to
would
take
use that.
and try to take that advantage of you.
Yeah, definitely. So you have to, sad but true, you have to be careful with that.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to painting the picture of how a man should be, and because my favorite thing to write in music is ballads, right? If I could just write ballads and still be successful, I would do it. But I know I need to write a balance of things because not everybody can handle the slower music, right? But the way, if you notice when you listen to my music, nothing sounds the same. It doesn't sound like the last song you just heard.
Yeah,
I did
Right.
notice that. Yep.
And the reason for that is because I listen to everything, country, rock, blues. It doesn't matter. I listen to all of it because it helps me think outside the box,
yeah. And it helps you grab the best. The great thing about like diversity, not only with like listening to music, but anything in life, is I feel like you're able to grab the best things from each genre and each thing, and you're able to take all these like influences and then use those to create something like brand new.
Yeah, definitely. I always tell people, I can guarantee you can always find at least one good song in every style of music. At least. And if it's not good, it's at least tolerable. You can tolerate it.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes a big difference. Like, because I feel like I can tolerate pretty much any type of music. So if there's a song that comes on, I'm like, and I can't tolerate it, I know, like, okay, that, they got to go back to the drawing board with that one.
Right.
But I think that's a very good standard to have for any artist right there. Like, at the bare minimum, make your music tolerable. So if it gets played on the radio or if it randomly gets thrown on in like a shuffle playlist, people aren't going to like hit that skip button immediately.
Right.
But I'm thinking like as an artist, you still you're an artist.
Yes.
So you want to portray what you like.
You do. So
like, whether people like it or not. Sometimes.
So here's the story with that, or not story, but the structure of what that means. So you want to write. Obviously, you want to love what you're doing, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you got to also say to yourself, who am I doing this for? Mm-hmm. Am I doing it just for me? Or am I doing it to connect with the mass, right? If you're just doing it for you, you can sit down in the basement and just create whatever you want and be okay. And you have to be content with the results.
Yeah.
But if you want to touch the mainstream, you got to do some mainstream stuff. It's just what it is, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you can do underground or something, but you have to. And P. Diddy said it best. What he told Biggie, you need an A side and you need a B side. And for those who don't know about the cassette tapes, that's the that's the analogy of it. Well, you got to have an A side and a B side, so you can't have all this rough stuff and nothing for the mainstream if you want to reach the mainstream. So your A side needs to be able to connect with a broader audience than what you just used to.
I like that. And it challenges yourself too as an artist. I feel like a lot of like people who are like in the underground, they have this weird like hatred towards like the mainstream media and then like the mainstream artists or whatever. Like, man, I'm always gonna be an underground. But I feel like the problem is like it's really once you become so like sucked into the underground, that local scene, it can be very difficult to break out of that eventually. You know?
I agree.
Yeah. Were you ever into like when you obviously you first started out, you were very local. And then, like, you eventually kind of broke out. Was that, like, pretty challenging for you? Did you feel, like, weird, or is that something you were always, like, striving for?
Yeah, I always strive for that. And just my music in general has always been formatted that way.
Yeah.
You know?
You can tell by listening to it, yeah. I think that's challenging. I feel like making it in the mainstream, like, it's so difficult because it is the most challenging type of music to make, whether you like people want to admit it or not.
Right.
Like,
let me give you a perfect example, just to back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
When you was talking about your friends,
mm-hmm.
This is how you know consistency is effective. Think of the times you heard an artist and you said to yourself, like, "Oh my God, he's whack."
Yeah.
Like, man, I could do better than that in my sleep.
Yeah.
Right. You've seen people act like that, but what they fail to realize is that person had muster. He was grinding. He or she was grinding. They never stopped. They was consistent, because even though you thought they sucked, they still made it. Mm-hmm. Right? They still made it.
Yeah.
Not because they was the greatest, but because they were so consistent that they just kept climbing that ladder until they got there. Mm-hmm. Right? It's all about how much you believe in yourself, because that will determine how much effort you put in.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if you worked hard for 2 weeks, if you stopped that third week. Mm-hmm. You know, that doesn't matter anymore. Nobody cares about what you did 2 weeks ago if you're not doing it on that third week.
It's kind of funny you're bringing this up, because we were literally just talking about this before the podcast. You know, we're just like, we're going to keep growing. We got to just stay consistent, you know.
You have to.
Whether people like it or not, you know, we're going to get better, make everyone better. It's all about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been doing that for years.
Yes.
But you're like a good role model. People can look up to you, and especially like someone like me who's seen like where you were before.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that, but it's like, wow.
Definitely.
Like after we talked and I was like, what the hell's, damn, I was like, and, this guy's like stepped it up big time,
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing, man.
Mm-hmm. And it's only the stars.
Yes, sky's is the limit.
Sky's the limit. Yeah,
and don't let people get. I think what hurts a lot of people, artists, producers, whatever you're doing, because they gravitate to other people's fears.
Yeah.
Right. So if you were to tell me, like, man, Rico, it's a little too late, man. You up there in age, man.
Yeah, that was actually going to be, you read my mind.
Yeah.
That was my next
really?
thing. I was going to pick your brain about it. Well, I feel like rap and like R&B specifically, like that's one of those things that's like, most people feel like there's an age cutoff for that type of music and in that industry.
Right. And when you think about it, how could there be a cutoff if it's something you would do regardless if you was getting paid or not?
Right.
Yeah. If you love what you're doing, there shouldn't be a time limit to it. Right? I'll give you a perfect example. This is in the movie industry. Samuel L. Jackson. When do you think he started acting?
I heard it was pretty late in life.
I have no idea. I'll say, my mind goes to mid to late 20s.
No.
43.
Oof.
Yeah,
43.
I know it was late.
Look how much he's done.
Yeah.
He's done more movies than most actors you can even think of.
Yeah.
43.
Yeah. It really goes to show you, like, if you go heads down and you really put your mind to something, like, every week you're grinding at it, like, how much you can achieve in a short period of time.
Exactly.
If you actually start taking shit seriously.
That's also where mindset is huge,
If you love what you're doing, there shouldn't be nothing get in your way. Nothing should get in your way.
Can I ask you, so how, when you made your very first album, if you don't mind, how old were you?
I was 30.
Okay.
29, 30. Yeah. Yep, I had, I just came home and.
Were you into music beforehand, like, at all? Like, a little bit? Did you dabble in it at all? Or was you, when you got to, like, your mid to late 20s, did you have, you know what? I'm Rico Nevotion. Okay.
So, let me give you I'll give you a little history.
Yeah.
I started off as a professional dancer. I used to dance for Prince and Shaquille O'Neal back when I was a teenager. Back then, I kind of had two lives in a way. I raised myself since I was 16. Then I was in a group in high school, a singing group. First, I was in a group with like RL and a couple other guys, RL from Next. And we had a group of 5. And then I had a group with a couple of really close friends who were like brothers to me. Then I got in some trouble, went away. Came back super determined, and I never looked back.
Yeah.
And I say that to say this, regardless of what hands you were dealt, doesn't mean that it has to end that way.
Yeah.
You still have the power to change.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you said that, because I've always said it's not the hand you're dealt in life, but it's how you play it.
Exactly.
And it's funny because it goes to show, and it really, like, the people that are dealt the best hands often end up playing them the worst, actually.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, it is. I have no regrets of my past because it made me who I am today. And now I'm able to save other people. A lot of my music talks about not only my story, but it kind of gives them an idea of what they can do.
Yeah.
Like, man, he went through all that, to now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of kids in the hood that look like me are saying, and may have heard many of times, you ain't going to be nothing. Don't get your hopes up. This is about as good as it's going to get.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell them that's a lie. You could be the president if you want.
Yep.
I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to run into some walls.
Yeah.
But it's not about falling down. That's what you do when you get back up. You know?
Mm-hmm. It's powerful statements. True.
Definitely.
Yeah. More people need to hear that, though. You know, like you said, like there's a lot of like just discouraging like people around you. Like it's all about like who you really surround yourself with.
Yeah,
nowadays. Like,
definitely.
how did you like? Because it sounds like you were surrounding yourself around like the wrong type of people at one point in your life when you were younger.
Yeah.
And I feel like once you kind of get into that group of friends, and then you get like locked into the system on top of that, you eventually these younger kids. They just get buried so deep. They just feel like they can't dig themselves out of it, you know,
they
anymore.
do. And I think society don't understand what is really going on, right? So they see these kids and they get angry and call them thugs.
Yeah.
Call them all these ugly names, not realizing that it was the streets
That made them that way.
No, it didn't make it may have made them like that due to the surroundings, but the biggest thing is the streets is the first time they felt needed. They felt seen.
Yeah.
They felt like they had a family.
Yes.
Right? And you get these people who have never dealt with that, but they love all the things that these kids were hoping that they could get, and they only found it in the streets.
Yeah.
They're not looking at that part. They're looking at the aftermath, right? What was created because of that. They're not looking at if that kid would have got a hug, if that kid would have got pulled out of those streets and actually had some people who said, hey, you can be somebody.
Yeah.
I believe in you, right? These kids, they had that.
Yeah.
But then you get, they see it on the news, they see him walking down the street, and all they see is the aftermath.
Yeah. Because
Right.
they get that hug and that handshake from the wrong type of crowd that tells
Yeah.
them that they're
Yeah.
gonna be something. And yeah, you may become something for a little bit, but then you end up getting in trouble and getting locked up. And then I feel like a lot of them realize that a lot of those people that were their friends actually aren't there for you anymore.
And some of them are lost too. They don't. Sometimes the people who are embrace you believe in that story.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm a perfect example. Like I said, I raised myself since I was 16. The streets pretty much raised me, right? But there was a point in my life where I had to understand that without change, I'm going to get the same situation. You know, and when I was away, I watched a lot of people come in, go out, come in, go out, over and over again. And I learned something from that because it told me that if I leave with the same mentality that I came in with, I'm going to get the same results.
Yeah.
Right? And you never hear about the success stories. You only hear about the bad ones.
Right.
Right? I've actually ran into so many people that I was down with that are doing great now. But you never hear about those stories.
No.
I literally just ran into a gentleman last week, and he was telling me about all the great things he got going on right now. And I was just like, that's what I'm talking about. Why is that not highlighted?
You just say, well, lit up.
You know what I'm saying? Because to me, that shows that it can happen. You know, I wasn't just a lucky person who it happened to. It can happen,
Yeah.
right? With the right guidance.
Right. And it sucks. Like I feel like society, we're more stricter than ever when it comes to second chances. It feels like there's no such thing as a second chance anymore.
Until it's their turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's real shit. Like there's no such thing as second chances until it's your turn, and then you need a second chance, and then you realize like, okay, people can change because now I need to get my shit together.
Exactly.
Like,
you know, they say people never have empathy until it get close to home. You know, it's like if our society learned how to have some type of empathy, you know, you don't even have to completely understand, but have some empathy. Just imagine how much things would change, because instead of you having so many negative thoughts and talking about the problems, you'll be talking more about the solutions. Right? Not kill them all, not they all should be in prison.
Yeah.
But I think
What is wrong? What is wrong with the system that needs to be changed?
I think not enough people see
a lot that
the.
needs
Yeah,
to be
no, I
changed.
think not enough people like see the good in people nowadays, and I do believe there's the way jail is structured. Like it's made to bring out the worst in people. Like yeah, if you're gonna lock them in a cage, you're gonna act like animals most of the time.
Right.
I know in some other countries, I don't. Maybe it's Sweden, one of the ones, but like their jails are basically like a treatment center, a rehabilitation center, you know, to help people like actually like they're made to like actually change the person. So when they leave, they don't fucking come back. Yeah. All jails here in this country, they're not designed that way. They're actually
it makes too much money.
Yeah, they're designed to make them worse, you know. So and then you meet more connections, more gang members, you know, more of like your friends. So then when you go out, you get into more trouble. You get stuck in that system. Yeah, that's why like it's so impressive to hear like your story and hear that you were actually able to like break out of that. Because once you get these kids, they dig themselves deep, man, and a lot of them never see the light.
I just want to know your guys' opinion. Do you think you said you met quite a few successful people after dealing with this? Do you think society, because you've watched the media, they don't talk about the people who succeed.
Right.
They're always talking about the repeat offenders.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like they want it to be portrayed like that? I just know like you always see negative stuff on the news and the media.
I think so.
And,
let me put it to you this way. And I don't. I'm not a political person. But I think politics and all that stuff is designed to separate.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
I'm gonna put it to you this way. If they were to tell the story of so many success rate, that's giving too much hope to others to do the same. They can't have that because that would hurt the dollars.
Yep.
Right?
They use fear to drive up the dollars. Hope does not drive up the dollars.
It doesn't.
It is. Fear has always been the main thing the media pushes on the people. It's never been a hope. Every now and then they'll sprinkle some hope in there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
well, you know, this is off the subject, but you might want to write a song about that.
I have a few songs about it.
Oh, well, I better catch up. Listen to all of them.
All 5 albums. You got to start from the beginning.
So since we, not only have you been successful with the, singing, you're doing acting, but you showed me your TikTok. You have 400,000 people. Like you're a social media genius or something. Like what's going on with that? Like how'd that come about?
Well, it's funny because we started a family TikTok with myself, my wife, and my youngest daughter. My oldest daughter would get in there here and there, but she's married and stuff now, so she can't do it as much. But so it's mainly me and my wife and my youngest daughter that does it consistently. And we created the Keeping Up with the Ne-Votion brand, and it was designed to do more molding with the family, more fun, and I really wanted them to be involved in this part of the world.
Yeah.
Right? And like my wife, it's funny, when we first started, it was just me and my daughter doing it. She was like, what are y'all doing with these TikTok? Like, that's stupid. She just wasn't for it at all. And plus my wife, she's an introvert and she don't like cameras a lot. And I'm
complete opposite.
Right. I'm like this. Yeah. Like when we first started dating, every time I pull up that camera, if you look at any old videos of us, you'll see her always hiding. Yeah. Right? But now she's killing the camera, right? Yeah. And so we created this new brand called Keeping Up with the Ne-Votions. And we have talk shows. We have all our little TikToks and stuff like that. And it's just, man, there's no greater feeling than to be able to do that with my family. Like,
yeah,
that would be awesome.
And just have fun with it. And that's basically what we do. We just have fun with it, man, and make other people laugh. We give a lot of messages about family and stuff like that as well,
I actually think that's good that you're doing it with your family.
Yeah.
Because there's not many people, first of all, the way society's going right now, like there's always these single parent homes and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's good to see like a family striving and succeeding together.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, man. It really is.
Man, he's got a video on there with 19.8 million views. Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was laughing. Every time I see it, I laugh.
We got another one on there that's like 26, 27 million views.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is your whole family in that one? Just your wife, dog?
It's me, my wife, and my daughter.
Nice.
My youngest daughter.
Your younger one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Like your younger daughter's on set to be a TikTok prodigy, dude.
Dude, she's a natural.
Yeah.
She's a natural. She's funny. She was in my play as well. She's super funny, and she can be shy until you get that camera rolling. Then she,
Yeah.
it's like boom. Yeah, she's a natural.
And you have your own TikTok too, right? Or
Yes.
something.
Yep.
And I've seen something. You got these like challenges.
Yes.
Challenges. What's that all about?
So I have the
You got to show some of these challenges.
Yeah,
that
we'll
he's
pull
got
one
going
up.
on.
We'll pull one up later.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I have the Live It Up challenge where people are doing transitions. So they basically they start off like they're lounging or just kind of like just laid up or whatever, and then boom, they all dressed up in makeup or just suited and booted. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's super dope, and it went viral.
Yeah.
Got some people who actually kind of switched the trend up a little bit, like a lot of mothers, where they would just be laying like on their couch sad or whatever. Next thing you know, they're outside playing with the kids. So I love that the song is bringing out so many different emotions in people.
Yeah. Different ways you can switch it up.
Yeah, exactly. It don't always have to be the glamour.
Yeah.
It could be just being with your family, playing out in the yard, So it's super dope.
Yeah, you got to show a couple of those, man.
I
Come
know.
on,
Well,
dog.
it sounds so cool that you have like someone who's like really supportive as your wife, and it sounds like you guys are like very different. Her being like very, introverted, and you like very extroverted.
Right. We're like this.
Yeah, that's probably why you guys attract though too at the same time.
It's weird. So, like I said, we are extroverted, but we are also still so much like we have so much in common too.
You guys probably have the same values. That's what I've always kind of said. Like you don't have to have the same like interest or hobbies with a romantic party. That shit like doesn't really matter. But having the same values, like that's what's really really important in my opinion to have like a successful relationship.
Yeah, I like that you said that because we do, and there's things we see differently. But the dope thing about my wife is I can actually have a conversation with her. We don't get disrespectful with each other. We never call each other out of our names.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing, man. Yeah. It's so refreshing, and she's super supportive. She gets excited for me. If I'm slacking, she'll let me know.
She holds you to high standards too. Yeah. That's important too. On the last podcast, we were talking about I think you watched a couple of those, holding your partner to higher standards.
Yeah.
That is that is necessary for not only growth as a person, but I think to have just a successful relationship. You know,
we're each other's cheerleaders, basically.
Yeah. How long you guys been married?
Since 2019. But even with that, I feel like we're gonna have that because I still feel like we have a lot of newlywed vibes. Because I see her do serious, and I just be like, Yeah. I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? I see her, and sometimes she's just like, man, she think I be joking, but I be serious. Like, girl.
Yeah.
And I think what it is when you love a woman inside just as much as the outside, the effect is powerful, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can lust on that outside, that exterior, but it's gonna change at some point.
It is.
But
it always does.
You'll never acknowledge that change if it matches the inside, right? Mm-hmm. It'll never look like it changed then, So I think that's important, and I know that's why I'm the way I am with her. I literally feel like a little boy sometimes.
Yeah.
Around her,
Yeah.
And that's not to say there's no relationship that's perfect, right?
Right.
But But
That's important to say.
Yeah.
Relationships are hard work. I'm
Yeah.
learning that, and a lot of people. But I also feel like society nowadays, like especially like younger men and women, like as soon as a relationship gets tough and you get over that honeymoon phase, it's like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm leaving. I don't want to like deal with this. I'm like not. There isn't enough people that are willing to actually put in the work, and they don't realize that, like, to be in a committed relationship and have a successful one long term, like, it's gonna be fucking hard sometimes. You're gonna get into fights. You're gonna yell. You're gonna say shit you don't mean and take it back the next day. Like, I know I have at least, but it's part of the process, I feel like. And it's part of the work that is required to have, like, a long-term relationship.
It is.
I think sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say two things that I think are very important, though, for a successful relationship. Well, three. One is you got to communicate. Yeah. If you don't communicate, you're already setting yourself up for failure, right? Because I can't read your mind and you can't read mine, right? Two, you have to be willing to listen. Yeah. You know, so many people already have a comeback before they even,
they're not even listening to what you're going to say, but they're thinking of, like, their comeback for you.
Already, And when that happens, you basically devalued everything that they just said. Because you weren't listening in the first place. You was like, I'm about to kill her with this one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
She ain't going to know how to do.
Right.
You're not going to be expecting this.
Right. Wait till she finishes talking. I'm about to kill her. So you have to be able to listen, because it's only then that you can dissect what is being said to you. Yeah. Right? Otherwise, you can't. And then, three, you got to love on each other. Right, you got to do what you did at the beginning. You know, a lot of times we get relaxed, like, all right, I got her now. Yeah. You know,
100%.
Right. Yeah. So the guys stop opening the door. If it ain't you in the beginning, don't do it. If it ain't you. Yeah. If you're not the type of guy who likes to open doors, don't do it. Don't do it, because whatever you give her at the beginning, she's gonna expect it. Yeah. Not because she's too good for whatever. It's because you have taught her that that's what to expect from you.
That this is the standard. This is how I'm going to treat you.
Right.
Like, don't do it just to get it. And then once you get it,
now you want to switch up.
No, I'm hoping the same is happening in return for you. Yes.
It's always.
Okay.
I'm only speaking from a man's view, but anytime I speak about a message, that message always goes both ways. Okay. Always go both ways, because that's why we don't say happy wife, happy life. We say happy spouse, happy house. Yep. Because it's important for both parties.
I haven't heard that one before.
You know, and we live by that. You know,
what did you say, Tad? Happy king, happy kingdom.
Happy husband, happy kingdom. That's what I say. You know, but I mean, I see where you're coming from. I just know. I say that because of what's really going on in society now. I don't know if you know how the dating scene is right now, but it's getting a little wild. But,
I'm sure, but
yes,
it always comes back down to the foundation. You know, however you build that foundation, that's why I said, whatever you do at the beginning, you have to continue doing it, because you're building that foundation. Yeah. You know, so if you got your foundation tilted like this, and then you want to go like this, it's gonna fall, because it's used to. Gravity got it to learn to sit like this, right? So that's how you have to do things. If you're not going to be this open doors, feeding food, and want to eat from the fork together and all that stuff, don't. Hey, keep it 100. Yeah,
keep 100.
If you're a dog, bark at the beginning, just like you're gonna bark later on. Yeah, that's how I look at it.
Yeah. Relationships aren't that tough, really. What do you think about it? They're not.
They're not tough. People make them tough. Yeah. You know, if you do those three things, you're good. Doesn't mean you're not going to have problems, but it's not problems that can't be fixed, right? You have to appreciate each other. I think the greatest thing that they created for relationships were the affirmations. I think that's so dope. You know, where you learn your partner's love language. Yeah. I think that's super dope. At first, I was like, that's kind of cool.
What's your love language? Mine is, I can't remember. I think mine It's been a while since I've done it. Mine is, I forget the actual term for it, but it's when somebody does something for me. As in, like, if they know that we need groceries and she goes and picks it up, something like that. Or if, like, my laundry isn't done and, like, she's like, oh, my girl noticed that she did it for me. I'll have to look them up here quick. But like, I think that's what's mine.
Mine was more on the
I'll pull them up quick.
Yeah, mine was more on the side of like the acknowledgments.
Yes.
You know, like, thank you for doing that. Or I'm proud of you. Because believe it or not, your woman can turn you into literally Superman.
Yep. That's how
she
I feel
has the power.
I've talked about.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, she has the power to do that.
Yeah.
A woman can make or break you.
Yep.
I don't care what no man say.
100%.
You know, a lot of women act, oh, no, you can't nobody. Hey,
right.
She can make or break you.
Your woman should make you better. So here are the ones, like, actually, reading these, I know what mine is. I believe, so there's receiving gifts, acts of service, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation.
That's me.
Mine was either quality time or acts of service. I think acts of service was the one that I got.
Yeah, that app is super dope.
Yeah, it is.
I never heard of that before, so I'm going to have to look at that.
Yeah,
No, you have to check it out. And I agree with you 100%. Like, my fiance, she's the first woman that I actually realized that, like, has made me a better man and a better person. I thought other women had did that in the past, like my previous relationships, but I actually, like, I didn't realize it until I met her. You know what I mean? To someone who truly made me better, who, like, who is my peace when I come home and doesn't really add any stress into my life at all. You know, holds me to those high standards. When I think about, like, pretty much every other ex-girlfriend I have, dude, it was just adding stress, dude, into my life, not making it easier. Like,
if there's no peace at home.
Yeah, how can you expect to have peace anywhere else?
Man,
like,
scary.
The household has that should be your place of peace, you know?
You should be excited when you get home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially fucking grinding all day, dude, like.
Man, I remember times in my past where I would pull up and sit in my car.
Because you didn't want to go in the house.
Yeah. Just look at
you look at it as like you're about to go to your next shift at work.
Yeah.
Like, you've been working all day. You pull up to your home, and then you're like, fuck, now I got to go in there and deal with her.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. Maybe something's bad with you guys. Like, man, I've felt the exact same way before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's real, you know, and as a man, you have to value your woman, right? Mm-hmm. I have this rule. If I'm not around and my wife goes out and guys see her, they should respect her the same way they would if I wasn't there. And what I mean by that is, if I'm disrespectful towards my wife in front of my friends, or I'm doing bogus stuff around my friends, they're not going to have respect for her, and it's going to show.
Yep.
Right? Because they're going off of what I do. Mm-hmm. So the way I speak about her, the way I act when I'm not with her, is telling them her value. Right? So when they see her without me, they like, Miss Nevotion, Queen Nevotion.
Yeah.
And they doing that because I created that type
You created that image of her.
Yeah.
I think that's so important, man. Like, man, I love talking to Rico here. Well, no, because I feel like a lot of men, they do the opposite. And when we go out with our boys, we tend to want to vent about things that, like, I need someone to vent about, you know, what my girl did. She did this, she pissed me off. But we're not realizing that, like, even though, you know, your intentions may be good and you just want someone to listen to you, that doing that, you're actually, like, destroying the image of your woman.
Exactly.
Like,
you are, you know, and not only that, you know that whatever y'all going through, it's going to bypass.
Yeah.
That's not going to always happen with the people you complain to. They have a different connection with you.
Yep.
They might take it personally.
Especially if they're one of your really good friends.
Yeah.
Like, if you tell your really good friend, like, something negative about your significant other, they're always going to have your back. Mm-hmm. And they're only going to remember the bad shit you say about your partner. Like,
you got to be careful.
Yeah, you do. Yep. You do. You want to say something, Dad, or
No.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure. I wasn't.
He's like, y'all trying to cut me out?
Yeah.
No, I'm just listening. I just know, like, I was just watching,
Yeah.
making sure we get through everything.
Definitely.
Yeah. We will, man. We will. We will definitely get there. Well, I mean, we're already over an hour in here, you know. How about this? We can pull it back here a little bit. We'll go for, like, because we go hour and a half usually. So we go a little bit. I'll ask you a few more things back to, like, some things about, we'll bring it back to the music here, unless you had anything to say, and then we can go ahead and wrap things up here.
All right.
Man, I feel like I can talk to this dude for hours just about
Definitely.
relationships.
He's always been like that. Like,
Definitely, man.
You got some good stuff.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
stuff
I
you
never
say
thought
is
about that. I just want to talk about just like that's so important about just like how you talk about your woman when she's not around.
Yeah.
And it's vice versa too. Like, and that's something like I honestly like I would say like I am guilty of like talking bad about like my partners like in the past, you know, and that's really like immature of me. Like now I have to like hearing you say that.
Yeah.
So thank you,
Definitely.
dude. Like honestly, because like that's something I did. I think it's and like I said, I think it's something that's very common and easier for do because we don't think about it because at the time we're just like I need to like get this off my chest, but we're not thinking of the long term damages that's going to cause not only on ourselves but on our relationship and on like this other person's like reputation too and like their image
Yeah.
to other people.
Yeah, it's important because you have to remember, she's a reflection of you, right? And you are a reflection of her. So if you don't want to be looked at bad, how are you going to paint a bad picture of your partner?
Yeah.
But
You know,
Why would you want to go out there and only say negative things
and if it's
about your partner?
Yeah, and if it's that negative, why are you still with them?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, that's what it comes down to. If they're that bad, why are you still with them, right? And
I've said that.
home is home. Right? Home is home. There's a reason why everyone you know don't have a key to your house. That's your home. That's your house.
Yeah.
Right? So treat it the same way when you're out. If they don't have a key to it, why are you letting them
don't
in?
let them in
Yeah,
there.
don't let them in. You know, that's that whole vampire analogy. Like, don't invite them in.
Yeah. The energy vampires, man.
Now, is
They're out
that
there.
something, you know, for like younger listeners, is that something you kind of grew into? Like
Yeah.
That thought process?
Definitely,
'Cause, like,
definitely.
I don't think.
Yeah,
younger
I
people
definitely,
probably thought like that, you know?
I haven't always had that mind frame, but I have always had the mind frame that too much information is too much information, right? Just in general. But I've just learned, you know, over time that doing those things, especially things that you know it's gonna pass over.
Yeah.
Like you upset.
Something dumb.
Yeah. Don't feed it. Don't give that bad energy somebody else to carry.
Yeah.
Because they gonna carry it different than you. You love this person. They may not love this person.
Yeah.
So they gonna treat it different. They gonna be looking at her funny. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna like that.
Yeah.
But you created that monster.
Yep. Or
You
they,
know?
or they may not even want you to be with
You're
that
the one
person.
that made her look
Yeah.
bad.
They'll start doing other things to try to damage your relationship even more.
Yeah. They'll be like, man, fuck her. Like, look at that baddie over there at the bar.
Exactly.
You know, and that's how it starts, right?
Yeah.
And then you, in your mindset, you're like, yeah, like, why am I putting up with this when there's all these other beautiful women out there in the world? Like,
Seriously. You know, that's the other dope thing about your friends, though.
Yeah, agree.
You know, it's super dope. You set the tone for that. Like if I'm out and I go out, I'm with my guys, and if I'm always like this, damn.
Good Lord.
Hey, do you see that? You know what I'm saying? If you do that, you setting the tone,
Yeah.
right? Because now you just told them, hey, if you see something that you think I like, point it out, right? And that's how it starts. But my guys, they like, super respectful, and I got guys who really be out there. You know, they single and they doing their thing. You know, but they still respect
You
what
and
I
your
have.
boundaries
Yeah.
and your life.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And they're genuine with it. You know, and none of us are perfect, but they respect what the boundaries are because you set the tone,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And every single friend of mine respects that tone, that code, without me ever saying that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a dope thing, but it's all about you setting the tone.
But
just like with your relationships.
That has to do with the people you chose to surround you too. Because I've hung out with people, and I'd be like, hey, no, I'm not like that. There's those guys. There's those guys that are like,
no matter
come
what,
on,
they're
man,
pushing you
know,
to be it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
But see, that's what I'm saying though. I have guy friends who are like whores. Mm-hmm. I forget my.
No, you're good. Names. You can say whatever you want here. Yeah.
But I'm not saying all of them, but I do have male friends who are
3 or 4. Right?
Yeah.
But they still respect that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it's the tone that was set. Mm-hmm. You have to create that tone.
That you're not going to tolerate that type of behavior.
Exactly.
And you're not going to be influenced like that.
Exactly.
Like, it's your life. You're single. You can do whatever you, but don't try to influence that on me.
Right. Yeah. Like, a lot of people be so shocked when they find out that I didn't even start drinking until I was in my 30s. Never smoked. And 80% of my friends smoke. But they're not like, Rick, man, you got to, man. You know what I mean? They might make a joke like, and then I'm like, man,
they do the face.
Like, I was just playing.
Yeah.
But nobody ever try to force that because they respect what I created from the beginning.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I know Rico don't smoke, so I ain't going to, even when I ain't drink, they would come to me like, man, you want a Red Bull? So it's all about how you set the tone. You are the playmaker. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You put everybody in their position in your life. It's not saying you're the boss of them, but in your life, you're the boss of your life.
Right.
Right? And you putting everybody in position, hey, this is what I like in my life.
Yeah. This
is the respect I need, and I'm going to give it back.
Right.
They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Or they're going to fall out of it.
Exactly.
Well, I do realize that because, like, I have a lot of friends who smoke.
Yeah.
You know what you were talking about. But now they're just like
Mary Jane.
There we go, a little sample of that voice
coming out now.
So yeah, the Mary Jane. But now they're just like, no.
Yeah.
You good? Well, nah, I know you don't want to,
Right.
Like, I just don't do that. But to each your own.
Yeah.
Definitely.
A lot of that comes with maturity. I feel like, when you're younger, it's easier to pressure people when we're going up.
Definitely.
But I feel like most people, you get to that certain age where it's just like, okay, I know Tad's good. I know Rico's good. Like, you don't care anymore.
Seriously.
All right. Well, hey, like I said, let's go one more here. If is that cool with you? It's
do it.
a little over 8 right now. Because there are a couple more. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So last section here. And we're going to bring things back to actual like Rico Nevotion. Learning from mistakes and moving forward. Topic 6 on this outline here. I would like to know, Leo, what can you tell us about, like, what was your most significant career mistake and then the lessons you learned from that?
So, So I'm weird with this.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is I look at mistakes differently.
Yep.
So to me, it's not a mistake if you learn from it. It was a lesson, right? And so I feel like I have not made any mistakes.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I love that.
Yeah, seriously. I've learned and I've grown from it. Now if you keep repeating something, you didn't learn from it, obviously.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So I feel like I don't make mistakes. I learn from them. And it kind of coincides with I don't mind failing because I know in order to succeed, you must fail first.
Yeah.
And
that's when you truly learn something, I feel like. Because you have there's so much emotion and, like, trauma that comes with failing, though.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, okay, I know not to do that again now.
Yeah, seriously.
This is kind of a little different subject, but kind of the same. I'm like that with, like, a relationship. Like, if a girl, like, breaks up with me or something, like, I start turning on myself. It's like, oh, hell no, I'm going to make myself better and better. Like, I use that energy to become a better person, to strive to the next level.
Yeah.
And I do that with failures, too.
Yeah.
But it's just...
That's spitefulness to a degree,
like,
also.
Like,
because and I'm guilty of the same things. I feel like most guys are, probably girls too. Like, anytime you get out of a relationship, you're like, F that person. Like, I'm gonna show them, start getting in the gym, start getting in really good shape. Because you want to, like, you're spiteful. You want to show them what they lost.
That's true, but I also, I think some people, not all people, use that as power to jump up to that next level. You know, like, yeah, they're spiteful at first, but you know, when you're feeling like all messed up, you know, from something like that, and you funnel that energy into something more positive. Yeah, you know,
I'm one of those people that when you say I can't do it, I'm like, just wait.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm serious. Like I really like what I was talking about. Don't adopt other people's fears. When people try to, I remember when I first came home, I had people telling me, "Oh man, you know, you should think about just doing management or something." You know, because you know things done changed, and all these different things just basically trying to discourage me.
Yeah.
Then I started getting a buzz. I started winning awards. Then they came back to me like, "Hey, man, I knew you could do it."
Right.
Really?
Their mindset changed all of a sudden.
Yeah. But it's also important that even when those things happen, to not be spiteful and throw it in their face, right? Because just as easy, or not even easy, but just as you got those blessings, they could still be taken away.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's use it as fuel, but not to burn them afterwards.
Oh, I like that. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to be that bigger person. As
it
bad
is.
as you want to throw it back in the face, like, like, I did it. Like, you told me I couldn't, though. Like, you told me I couldn't. There's, like, everything. It's going to take all of your power and energy to, like, not throw it back in their face. But having the ability to hold that back and just be like, you know what, thank you. You know, or just thank them for it. It's a great feeling, man. It is.
It really is a great feeling.
But the thing is, what I think is if you have that mentality where you're going to throw it back in their face, you're not going to succeed anyways.
Boys, it's not going to last long.
Yeah, it's like you kind of grow past that. Like, you're just, hey, I don't care. I want to do this, so I'm going to do it. You know? And you're not only doing it to be spiteful to them. You're just thinking about you. You're doing it because you want to do it.
Right, and it's okay to have that feeling because you get frustrated. You know, your feelings get hurt sometimes. That's a natural reaction, but don't let them change who you are.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to. Like, it's okay to feel the things, but after you feel them, let them go.
Yeah.
You know, don't
feelings
hold on to
come and go.
Yeah, let them go.
Don't let them stay. Let your feelings go. Man, I think that's a great ending point right there. Dude, cheers again, man. Thank you, dude, for coming on here. Thank you for getting him on there. Tad. Like, I feel like I can talk to you all day, man. Like, I feel like I learned so much, and it's like I'm gonna like walk out of here like a better person here, dude. And like,
that's a lot.
Wiser, dude. Thank you for coming on here and sharing your knowledge, dude, and wisdom and everything you've learned in life. Your story, dude. Like,
I appreciate it.
Very powerful.
I think it's really inspirational. We gotta hopefully get him back on again in the future.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
We love that.
Well, we'll have to.
But before we go, like, anything like new albums, anything like you would like to promote? Like, I have all his links and like to all like Rico's music and like social media like already like in the stream description below for everyone who's watching now and everyone's watching in the future. But anything else, like anything you got coming up, like, you know, later this year, or anyone like you want to shout out or plug before we end it?
Definitely. Like you said, the album, The Ugly Truth. Make sure you guys go get it. It's on all platforms. Preferably go to Apple. You know, because they take care of you.
Oh, okay. Well,
Apple Music.
That's where I went to, but that's good to know.
Apple Music, they take care of you.
More than Spotify? I heard Spotify pays more.
Spotify is, they have some hidden bugs, per se. I didn't realize that until this album because of Ne-Yo. So his people have put a fight to how they're doing the royalties.
Okay.
You know, and so I'll be getting blessed due to that, you know what I mean? Because obviously his legal team is a lot more, bigger than mine, you know. But so Apple Music.
Okay, Apple Music.
Yep. Basically any other platform.
Okay.
You know, so that go check out the movie Crooked Lines with a K. Got a couple of other more projects coming up. We got a couple more films we're working on. Mr. Hit Me Up, and then a couple other films that coming. Touring. Make sure to go check me out on all platforms on Rico Nevotion. Also keeping up with the Nevotion. Shout out to my beautiful, lovely wife, partner in crime.
She's probably like, you better say something.
Watch right now.
My beautiful daughters, my little sister Jasmine, and my little brother Javante. I mean, my whole family, all my siblings, my squad. Diamond Effect Records, KMOJ, my other family. Just and all the people who believed in me enough to say they'll stick around for all these years. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're gonna have to show some of those the Nevotion challenge going on.
Yeah,
Live It Up challenge. Put some of those
we'll
on
show
real
it up.
quick.
We'll show it here. Let me get it pulled up here, and we'll have those be at like the credits. The Nevotion challenge coming up here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you know what that means too.
Make sure you
Who
tag
else is
me.
gonna take that challenge? Come on now.
That's right. Let's do it.
Let's see here. Oh my God, I gotta get logged on to Instagram here. So give me a second. TADD, you got anything else for us, brother? Before you go on, while I get this last clip pulled up.
No, I just want to, again, thank you. That was kind of last minute notice. Like, this guy's a busy guy, and he's given, us a shot. That's the type of person he is.
Yeah.
He's humble. He wants to help the little man, rise up like he did. So, that's much love. Like, I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Definitely. I appreciate y'all helping me, brother. Definitely.
That was awesome. And you met him through serving, too.
Yeah.
Goes to show, like, the
back
people
in the
you
day.
meet in life, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
But, you never know what's going to happen with people. That's why this is what I have to say just for me personally. This is why you should try to have good rapport with anyone you meet.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because you never know when they'll cross your path again, and just don't burn bridges. I just try not to be like that. So
Yeah, you don't want to. You never know when you got to cross back over.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, seriously.
That's true. All right, they got them pulled up here. Let me get into the stream, and then I choose the Doug Life. Doug Life chose me. Peace. We'll get this pulled up.
Let me see you switch up game.
Don't worry about the price. Time to switch it up.
Oh, it's okay. Let's see if we got some other ones here.
Let me see your switch up game.
I got it. Playing sick and say too.
Oh, man. Live it up. Keep 100. Rico Nevotion. Yeah.
Let me see your switch up.
Whoever this woman is, TADD on the podcast, is a single man.
Yes.
Good values.
Yes. Yes.
I just want to say, he watched your TikTok challenge of Rico, and he really appreciates you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have some moves, I'll say that.
Don't worry about the price. Time to switch it up.
Just make sure I sing at your wedding.
I'd love for you to sing. That'd be so tight.
Switch it up. Let me see you switch it up. Rico Nevotion challenge on TikTok. Until next time, everyone.
Peace.